Perfect. So today's session is, as I said, it's kind of an exercise session, but we need not be. You can ask questions from any part of. You can, I mean, even though it is A2, you can ask questions from any level from A1 to C1. I don't think I'll be able to answer C2 level questions, but I will try. So if you don't have any questions, then we will. It is nice. So guys, you can learn as much. I mean, as I always say this as a joke, but I'm always up for it if you want to. So if you really buy me coffee and cheesecake for 14 days, in a row, and we meet every day for 1 hour, I will teach you all the grammar that you are supposed to know. They're supposed to know when it comes to German language. But it is very very much possible that you buy me 14 coffees, not 14 coffees, like 5 days a week. So 10 coffees and 10 cheesecakes, one each day. And if I meet you after 1 month, you would have forgotten most of the grammar lessons, because grammar in itself doesn't help you much. It will help you to find mistakes in other people's language, but there is another person who is able who knows like 10 times more vocabulary than you. And believe me, knowing vocabulary is more important than knowing grammar. Okay, not always, like, but it's kind of saying, like, if I really have to focus on somewhere, I will focus more on vocabulary and less on grammar, because grammar you can learn anytime. It's kind of a formula, but vocabulary you cannot learn in a day. It's something that you have to build every day, and it will take anywhere between 2 to 6 months to 12 months to build the vocabulary that I can just right now. I mean, if you give me, I mean, if I have right kind of incentives, I will start writing the vocabulary that one person needs. But will you be able to mug up all that in a day? No, it will take some time, right? So it's always good to, when you learn something, try to practice as much as you can. And it's always good to practice the tough part. So one tough part is reflexive verben, right? Because when you use reflexive verben, you have to kind of, the sentences are anyhow longer, right? Because there is the subject, verb, and then there is a reflexive pronoun, So also, uh, for some reason, I personally believe that, in the beginning, you should try to say as complicated sentences as you can. Again, normally you should say, like, when you are communicating with someone, you should try to speak, I mean, I try to speak as simply as I can. But when you are learning something, it's always best to bother your brain to say, to do the hard work. So, and reflexive verb are a very good tool when you want to bother your brain when you are learning a new language. So on the screen you see 40 reflexive verb, and I think there is one mistake somewhere as well, because last time someone pointed that out in the YouTube comment. I will tell you where the mistake is. Yes. So what I expect from you is, so you see 40, right? Again, so I have listed here is a list of some important reflexive we have in for daily life. Again, they are important for my life. They may not be important for your life, but I'm pretty sure, at least out of 40, 10 will you can use in your life as well. Okay. You can you can increase, can add more to this list, remove from this list, but I think these 40 should be a good start. Okay. So the request from my side to you is, please uh, start reading from the top, like number one, and tell you read the read it like sich Akkusativ auf etwas Akkusativ vorbereiten. You can give me the meaning first and then give me the sentence, but you can just give me the sentence. You can, yeah. And then I will, from your sentence, I will figure out whether you understood it or not. So anyone who wants to start, please unmute yourself and start speaking. That will be a request. Okay. Do I have to point out someone?
Mohit, am I audible?
You are audible, but not. I mean, I really have to pay attention.
Okay, let me log in from my phone.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe someone else can do that. Ash.
Only I am there.
Yeah, go ahead. Don't
Yeah,
worry if
can
you.
we?
I mean, don't. I mean, just it's fine. I mean, we all make mistakes. That's not a problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know the meaning of Vorbereiten.
Okay,
Mm,
just think. Just think. What do you? I mean,
to
what?
come
Let's say if I
forward.
have to ask you to take a guess. What will you guess?
Come forward.
Come forward. No.
Yeah, come forth. No.
Okay. Do you know bereit? Do you know what I mean? How do you for Berighton?
Bereit, uh, bereit or bereich means area.
Okay, what is Berighton? What is zu Berighton? Do you know zu Berighton? Okay,
No,
no problem. Okay, just okay, but you can see that, right? So you can see that this is a trennbare verb. Just give me the sentence, okay? Let's see. You don't need anything, right? So you just have to use what you have in front of your eyes. Just make a sentence out of it. You start with the subject, then the conjugated verb, then the reflexive pronoun, and if there was a prefix in the verb, that prefix will be towards the end.
bereiten Sie sich bitte auf die Plätze,
Okay,
auf
so
die Plätze.
it's always nice when you are learning. So I, even though it's nice to like learn complicated things, but always try to start with a sentence. Don't not with a question. So how frame a sentence, please?
Yeah, that was a sorry, that was a request. Brighten Sie sich bitte in this format. Brighten Sie sich bitte.
But I'm not asking you to. I'm not. I'm saying, okay, is this a request to me or you're framing a sentence out of it?
Framing a sentence. Yeah,
Don't
I'm
frame
framing
it.
a
So frame a statement. Subject,
statement. Okay.
subject. You said Berighton. If Berighton is at the first, it can be imperative, it can be yes or no kind of question, or it can be
Imperative.
instruction. So start with subject.
Sie bereiten sich auf die Plätze oder Plätzen
What do you want to say? Let's. What do you want to say actually?
for uh, sie means they vorbereiten themselves on the platforms, on the places.
Okay, so it's kind of like so you're almost there. So let's see if we can figure out this meaning, right? Ich bereite mich auf meine Prüfung,
Okay, yeah, I got to remember. Vorbereiten means to prepare.
right? Yeah. So
Ah,
it's
wow.
always good. You never know. For example, today I was talking with
Yeah, yeah.
someone and someone said this
Okay.
to me, right? I was afraid of that this problem. We will face this problem. And out of nowhere, I said, I'm happy that I was able to, make your, how do you say, what you were afraid of, make sure that put it, to, I can't say that in English, but in German you say Verwirklichen, So I was able to say it in German, but not in English. So, and it means to, like to bring something into reality or to bring something to fruition. Okay. So now that you have heard, please try to make
Yeah,
as much
yeah,
as you
yeah.
can. Next sentence,
Sure.
please.
No, no. I will try to make with vorbereiten now. Sie vorbereitet sich. Sie bereitet sich auf Frühstück vor.
No, right. How can you prepare yourself for? I mean, you can prepare yourself for the breakfast, but I mean, it means sounds like breakfast is very important for you, and you really have to get ready for the breakfast.
Yeah, by knotting or tying hair, washing hands, things like that.
But okay,
Get ready for cooking.
okay, understand, no problem. Yeah, next sentence, please.
Er sieht sich,
And the prefix, please.
er sieht sich
Don't try to complicate it.
um.
Just say as it says,
Okay,
and
okay.
then the
Er
prefix.
sieht sich um
Yeah, okay. And as it says on, what does it mean?
to change clothes.
Right, to change clothes. Next one.
Er sieht, er sieht sich an
What does it mean?
to put clothes on, to put on clothes.
Right, to put on clothes.
Yeah.
But umziehen does not mean wear clothes. Umziehen means to change clothes.
Yes, to change.
Because both cannot mean the same. Of course, there are synonyms, but here I have used them. So anziehen is to put on something. Umziehen is to change. Next one, please.
Er sieht, er sieht aus
Don't make mistakes. I mean, why are you making a mistake over here? Subject, verb, reflexive pronomen. But there is a prefix and the
Okay,
prefix,
yeah, yeah. Er sieht sich aus.
right? What does it mean?
To put clothes off. To
Right?
put
Or
off
to take
clothes.
off clothes, right? Next
Yeah,
one,
take off.
please.
Umsehen.
Now be careful. So
Umsehen.
here, reflexive
Sich.
pronomen will be in dative
Sich
case,
dative. Etwas Akkusativ.
and the verb is still the same, but it may mean something else over here. You also have an extra object. It was accusative. So just use some simple logic, and you tell me what the meaning is.
Meaning is to move to a new location.
No,
For
no,
example,
no,
for
no.
residing.
No, you
No?
should know this because we discussed this very clearly. Umziehen on its own means to move. But sich dative, it was, we did this, right? We had this three types of reflexive verb, and one where the meaning changes completely, right? So umziehen means, yes, to move from one place to another, from one house. But sich dative, it was accusative, umziehen means something else. We discussed this and I said that, meaning changes completely. Yes or no?
Yeah, yeah, we have discussed, but I could not revise well.
Okay, so it's the same thing, to change, but here you have an extra object. So now it means to change something. For example, let's say we both are going somewhere, and you notice that there is a fleck on my tie is not looking good, and I say, okay, no problem, I will change my tie. Okay, so instead of changing my entire clothes, I will just change my tie. So ich ziehe mir die Krawatte um. Okay. So sich Akkusative umziehen, you're changing everything. Sich Dative etwas Akkusative umziehen, here you have an extra object, right? So ich ziehe mir. And if you say ich ziehe mir I will say, okay, yeah, was genau? Like, what are you changing, right? So I will say, yeah, my tie or whatever else. Okay.
Okay,
And then you can use the same logic for 6 and 7.
yes, yes. Uh, ich, uh, ich sehe mich
Not ziehe, ziehe.
sehr.
Yeah.
Ich sehe mich
No, come on. And here now
mein,
it's very written here.
mein Hemd
No, but it's very clearly written. Sich
um.
dative now, no more accusative.
Ah, sorry, I don't know why I'm not focused
No
today.
problem, no problem. Do you want someone else to try, or do you want to continue trying?
I will try fifth again, and
Okay.
then
Fifth,
maybe
I
some
already did. Try
colleagues
fifth.
may.
Fifth
Okay,
will be right.
sixth one.
Yeah.
Yeah, sixth one. Ich ziehe mir meines Hemd an. Ich ziehe mir meines Hemd an.
Why minus? It's just mind, right?
Um,
Right. Only so
for accusative,
nominative is mind, right? Ah, okay, minus
for
hand. Okay.
accusative object.
No, but accusative will still be mind, right? Only so when you go from nominative to accusative, only masculine changes, right? If it was nominative, let's say if you say mine hem, mine hem, my shirt is red. Would you say minus hemmed is red, or would you just say mine hemmed is red?
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Mine. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Banda, do you want to go start from 7?
Yeah.
Go, please. Then I think meaning is
Mm,
obvious. So
Auxian is to take off or to get off.
to take off, right? But here it's like, for example, you can use, for example, Rohit, right? Rohit is taking off his tie, or Rohit.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Um, yeah.
Rohit will be third
Uh,
party. Air.
er, ja, er sieht äh, sich, er sieht sich äh, aus.
No. if you use, so you can,
Oder
here
er sieht,
it's not that difficult, right? You say subject, then you conjugate the
ähm,
verb, and then you have the reflexive pronoun, and then you have the
ja,
actual object, and then you have the prefix.
okay, I forgot the tie.
Just
Die
say blah
tie
blah.
oder
Say blah blah.
okay. Er sieht sich, bla bla
House.
aus,
Yeah. Why is there confusion? I'm not
beeilen.
sure. Like, why are you guys confused about this? How to use this?
Um, it's not confusion. It's that um, like we are not speedy in process. Like
Ah, okay.
it is not English, right?
In actual sentences, should we say zish or mir
No, no,
or
zish right
mish?
here. Air as z, accusative, dative, it still remains z. Zish.
Okay,
That's
then
why.
what's the utility of mentioning zish dative and
Yeah,
zish accusative?
here, I know what you're saying. So if I just say er sit sich aus, it can mean, thing is, yeah, I know what you mean, right? So like with
Hmm.
ish and though, you will notice the mistake. I mean, if I use ish, sia, if I just say ish, sia, mish, aus, then you will know, okay, I'm taking, I'm undressing. And if I say ish, sia, mia, aus, then you will say, okay, see, what are you, taking off? But with air, you will not notice this mistake, right? Again, yeah, it's not perfect, but there is no utility, but you have to say it.
Okay, my question is more around whether to use the word zish as such or to use mish, mir, this, there
Depending,
instead of
right?
zish.
What is the subject? Depending on the subject. So if the subject is ish, then accusative reflexive pronoun will be mish, dative one will be mia. Do, dish, accusative reflexive pronoun, dia, dative reflexive pronoun. With rzz and zz, it's the same, zish, zish, doesn't matter.
Only zish only for these two categories.
Yeah. Also it's the
Okay.
same, right? The accusative and dative, it's the same. For via, it is ons, ons,
Yeah.
same. Ia, it's oish, oish. Again, these are reflexive pronoun, okay? Not normal. These are not
Yeah.
pronoun, these are reflexive pronoun, okay? To that question of like it is difficult to process, uh, you should, I don't say it as explicitly as I should, but after every session, I know you guys are working, but you should try to, write at least 10 sentences, from what you learned, because I understand, like yesterday I was talking to someone that, and that person said, Rohit, how should I process, all this grammar in split second, right? Because if I, let's say, if I have to say a sentence, let me let me tell you what I mean. Let's say if I write a sentence, so let's say I have subject, I have verb, I have object. Okay, let's say if I use modal verb, so I will have subject, modal verb, and then I will have object. Okay, no, one other verb, that is,
Main verb.
yeah, that's, there is, yeah, main verb. Okay, this, now you have to, this is even easy, not that difficult, because you just have to conjugate this one. But let me make your life difficult, and I say that I will use an adjective over here. Okay, now you have to be careful, like what kind of adjective ending you will use. Okay, let me add one more object, indirect object. Okay, so here it
Yeah.
will be dative, but let me also add an adjective over here. Much more difficult. Let me also add an adjective for the subject. Then you also have to be careful, what is the adjective ending. Let me make it a little bit more
And
difficult and add
article.
a conjunction over here.
Article.
Yeah, article, right? So, of course, I understand, right? It's very difficult to process all this. When you want to say something, you want to just say, not like think for 10 seconds, like 10 minutes, and then say. But, this is my opinion, not a fact. We don't really remember uh, grammar. We remember grammar, but grammar and vocabulary, but when we are speaking, we actually remember entire sentences. What am I trying to say? Whenever you want to say something new, it takes a little bit of, your tongue has to get, like process. Okay, now I have to say this. There is something called as muscle memory. People only use it to talk about, like building muscles, but it also is
Yeah.
there when you are trying to learn a language, right? So just just think about it's a mental game you can play. Whenever you say something, think, did you actually process, even when you are speaking English or your own mother tongue, right? Did you actually like put subject verb this like this, or you had said the same sentence somewhere else and you said it again? I think it will be the latter option. So what am I trying to say? Try to write things about your life in German so that you remember how to say those things. Continue,
Okay.
please.
Beeilen sich accusative. Beeilen. Beeilen is to hurry, I guess.
Yeah, meaning a sentence, please.
Wir, wir beeilen uns.
Yes.
Nein.
Yeah, why?
Mit, next one is sich dative. Etwas accusative. Merken. Merken. Maybe remember.
Yes. No, people use it quite
Uh,
often. Whenever someone is
so
teaching you something, they'll say, "Mag diya das." Remember this. Or okay, your boss tells something. Okay, boss, I will remember this. I will make a note of it. Something like that.
Okay. Um, so ich merke, I
Reflexive.
remember mich.
Mia, dative.
Ah ja, Dativ. Ich merke mich.
Mia,
Ähm,
Mia,
sorry. Ich merke mir ähm, das.
das. Normally people say das merke ich mir. Okay.
Okay.
So far I have forced you to say that, okay, subject, verb, object, but it's not actually like that. Let's say, for example, my boss tells me, Rohit, did you do that? And I will say, yeah, I am doing that. So my boss tells me, not my boss,
Ja,
my
okay.
supervisor tells me, uh, Rohit, hast du the email or hast du the pipeline give out? Okay.
Mhm.
Normally I just say, yeah, das mag ich.
Okay.
People just talk like this, das mag ich. Or I can say, das mag ich gleich. Gleich means, like, what gleich, bis
This
gleich,
one.
gleich.
Yeah.
Sometimes I heard this for the first time from my supervisor during thesis. He used to say, "Ja, das mag ich eben." And I was like, for some reason, I thought eben means gleich. It does not mean gleich. It means, like, I will do it, but not exactly right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, what I'm saying is that, so what you should as I coming to my previous point, we don't really remember, you don't really, when we are speaking, entire sentences come out of your mouth, and eventually, from your head and then out of your mouth. So remember this sentence: ich beeile mich, das merke ich mir. Du solltest dir das merken. Remember these
Mm,
sentences. Okay. Or
okay.
sentences that you think you will say using these verbs. Continue, please.
Next one is sich accusative of etwas accusative setzen. Setzen is like to put or to settle.
Yeah.
Mm, Ich
But be
setze.
careful, right? Here you Zetsen. So the good thing, few things you should remember, or reflexive verb, the subject and the reflexive pronoun should point to the same person. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
say, I will keep the glass over there.
No, it is like I will settle myself
Yeah.
in auf. So ich setze mich auf Deutschland, maybe.
No, no, no. It's not like it literally means to sit. Let's say if I come to your place
Okay.
and you say, right, make yourself home, and I will say, alles klar, ich setze mich auf das Sofa.
Okay.
Yeah. Continue, please.
Sich accusative auf etwas accusative hinlegen. I don't remember what hinlegen is. I'm sorry.
Let's say I get too comfortable at your house. I may just lie down on
Comfortable.
your sofa, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
what it means. Yes.
er legt äh, sich Uh, it was hin.
Auf das Sofa
Auf
hin.
the sofa hin. Okay.
Okay. One thing you should ask me if you did not ask me, like, why is it no more dative over here? Because, so, the good thing about reflexive verb is that when they are very simple, so the reflexive pronoun will be in accusative case. Why is it
Mm-hmm.
accusative? Because this reflexive pronoun is considered to be the object. For example, ich sehe mich
Okay.
um. Mich is an object, direct object. Here,
Mm.
ich sehe mir etwas um. Now, mir is no more the direct object. The direct object is, what am I changing, right? So, whenever there is one more direct object, that becomes the indirect object. Over here, it is no more indirect object. It is an object which is being pushed to this verb with the help of a preposition. And prepositions have their own rules. Whether it is accusative, dative, they have their own rules. That's why it is still accusative over here. So it's something like, ich setze mich, so you are provide if you just say ich setze mich, it will sound like, okay, I will seat myself, right? But if you want to provide more information, you will use auf. Is it clear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the brackets. So you don't have to say it, but if you want to provide more information, or if I you can let's say I go to Rishi's place, and Rishi said, sit, and I will say, wo soll ich mich setzen? Where should I sit? Then Rishi can say, auf das Sofa bitte. Again, I don't think you need these things in daily life, but just telling you, like, I think you may need vorbereiten, you may need beeilen, you may need anziehen, you may need umziehen, sometimes. And I don't think you will need merken for sure. Setzen, hinlegen. Maybe you will need, maybe, I don't know. Because these are conversations we have with our close people, and we don't talk to them in German. Continue, please.
Jetson we use in bus and train.
Yeah, but I mean, like, will you actually say a sentence, right?
Yes, yes, I have many times
Ah, okay.
said,
Okay.
yeah, when offering seat to others.
That is something else. Sie können sitzen, that is sitzen. That is
Ah,
not sitzen,
okay,
that is sitzen. Okay.
okay, okay.
So it's like, you can sit. Sie können sitzen. Yeah. Continue, please.
Sich dative über etwas Akkusativ überlegen. Überlegen. Maybe something über is above.
Yeah, but I don't
Mm,
think that logic will help you over here.
um,
If someone sends you, like, I'm a recruiter, I write you on LinkedIn, hey, I have a salary. Do you mind switching your job? Will you accept?
mm,
No, right?
I love it. I may consider.
Yeah, to consider something.
Oh, okay, überlegen is to consider. Fine.
Yes, to consider, to reflect,
Sich.
to something like that. But
Mm.
yeah, here in this case, literally it means consider.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think you
Ich,
need Uber actually. I think it's a mistake. I think this was the mistake which someone point. You don't need Uber. You just say ich überlege
ja,
mir
ich überlege mir mm,
your offer.
das.
Yeah, okay,
Ah ja,
that's,
ja.
you know,
Erholen is to pick up.
yeah.
No, abholen
Please
is to
stop.
pick up.
Please stop. So here, überlegen, where you can use it. I think I use it quite often whenever someone says, like, should we say yes to this client after proof of concept? I will say, yeah, das überlege ich mir auch. I'm also thinking about it. I'm also considering this. Das überlege ich mir auch. Okay, continue, please.
Okay. Erholen.
Yes, weekend is coming. We all should.
mm,
If you're going on a vacation, I will say, yeah, yeah. Du solltest dich erholen. What am I saying?
You're allowed to.
What? No, I'm saying solltest. No, no, no.
Okay.
Du solltest,
You
okay.
don't.
Während am Wochenende erhole ich mich. What am I saying? Wenn ich fernsehe, dann erhole ich mich.
No, I couldn't get it now also.
Okay, wenn ich Bier, manche Leute, wenn die Bier trinken, dann erholen sie sich. Manche Leute, wenn die sehr viel essen, dann erholen sie sich. Manche Leute, wenn die schwimmen, die erholen sich. Manche Leute, wenn die schlafen, die erholen sich.
Schlafen, erholen.
To rest, right? To rest or to recover
Okay,
something.
okay, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Continue, please.
Ähm, Ich erhole mich etwas.
Yeah, so but I don't think you will ever say ich erhole mich. Normally people, you will say, ja, ich werde mich erholen. Ja.
Okay, ich
Und
werde mich
man
erholen.
braucht einen Urlaub, damit man sich erholen kann. So you never, I'm trying like, you will never say the sentence as it is. You have to think like, where you're going to say it. Continue.
Amüsieren, is it like to get amused?
Yes. I remember my
Mm,
flatmate once said, "Amüsiere dich," because I was going somewhere and he was saying he will come, but he did not show up. It was kind of like a get together. He said, "Rohit, I will not be able to come back, but ich hoffe, du amüsierst dich."
okay.
To
Mm,
have fun, yeah.
ja, ja. Ich amüsiere mich.
Yeah, you will never say this sentence. So you will always say, ich habe mich amüsiert, I had fun, or, ich hoffe, du hattest dich amüsiert, right?
Maybe like I got amused in Weihnachten.
Amuse, and this one, there
Or
is a difference,
or
right?
in English they say enjoy yourself.
Yes, enjoy
Okay.
yourself. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I will request you to say it instead of saying hab Spaß and sowas. And any even guys can say hab Spaß. People who use free version of Duolingo can say hab Spaß. You should say this. Continue, please.
Sich accusative benehmen. I don't know what benehmen is. Nehmen is to take.
Yeah, but I don't think that will help you over here. Let me think. I don't really want to give you the exact meaning, right? Because you will forget. Uh,
Yeah.
there is a kid, and he's really not. He's really naughty, and but I mean, you should be naughty, but up to a limit. Now, really, I'm not very happy with this kid's behavior. What do you think I might say?
Annoyed.
No, no. What I will say to the kid, so that he,
Behave yourself, be
yes,
disciplined
yeah,
or
behave
limited.
yourself. Sich
Okay.
benehmen. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, Wir benehmen uns.
Again, you will never say it, you know, but you may say it to someone like benehm dich, behave yourself,
Yeah, okay.
right? Or
Okay.
some people say, yeah, Isha,
Benehmen.
yeah, continue.
Yeah, sich vorstellen is to introduction, self-introduce.
No, here it is something else. So vorstellen on its own means that, for
Okay.
example, can you please, uh, this is something else. Sich Dativ etwas vorstellen.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
always ask this question if I really want to understand some difficult concept. I used to say, like, how can I imagine this to be of use to me?
mhm.
Or, how should I imagine this? So someone is asking, like, trying to teach me something very complex, and I was like, wie soll ich mir das vorstellen?
Okay.
Yeah. For example, let's say
I
you
said,
invite a friend to your
ich
home and
vorstelle mir,
one more time, please.
ich vorstelle mir,
No, it's
um,
come on. I have highlighted this, right? So it is trennbare verb.
okay, ich stelle mir vor.
But what?
Und there's something in between it was accent. Okay.
Yeah,
Ich
one
stelle
place.
mir,
Let's answer this question, right? Let's say we both go to Rishi's place, and we are expecting like a really nice dinner. And Rishi offers us, he takes this frozen pizza out of his freezer, and he could see it on his face that we are really disappointed. Rishi might say, like,
mm,
what did you imagine that I was going to give you?
okay.
So how do you say, what did you imagine?
We, um, was stelle,
Now past tense.
Oh, okay.
So subject. So but because now W what, right? So W what, helping verb, subject, reflexive pronoun, and the actual verb in participle. So I,
Was, where,
not where, a helping verb.
oh,
So either sein or
haben?
haben.
Yeah. Was, haben, maybe both. So, was, haben Sie,
Why will he refer to as Z? I mean, we just went to his place for dinner, so he will. It will be ear, right?
oh, okay. Was haben Sie,
We just
Hab,
sorry, was
habt
habt
ihr,
ihr, was habt ihr vorgestellt?
you forgot the
No.
reflexive pronoun. Again, the reason I'm bothering you guys. This is because this is something you can imagine saying, right? Was habt ihr euch vorgestellt? Or das haben wir uns nicht vorgestellt. For
Yeah.
example, you get a new job and the client is saying do this, do that, and after 1 month realize that client has like too many expectations, and you are like, yeah, but that is not something we imagined. Das hatten wir uns nicht vorgestellt.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Rishi, you can continue reading here. I think ich glaube, du hast dich erholt. Jetzt kannst du lesen. Ja.
verlieren, verlieren.
Come on, what does Valiant mean? It is screaming at you. Even if you German is for the first time, you should tell you what Verlieren means. Whenever you sign I have seen this, whenever you sign a contract, this is my personal opinion, not a fact. Some contracts are written in such a way that you really don't, you keep reading, but you really don't understand what the contract is about, right? So the contracts are written in such a way that you get lost in details, right? So verlieren means to get lost or to lose. Not exactly get lost. Get lost. If you just want to say get lost, you will have say how up. But here it means to lose oneself in something.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sentence, please. It can also be something not so platonic. It can something be not so platonic. It can be something romantic. No, you lost yourself in someone's. Yeah. I hope you know what I'm saying. So, but the next one makes much more sense. To lose oneself in details. So Einzelheiten means details. So you can
ja. Ich verliere mich in die Detaile.
just use an Einzelheiten, right? I have given you, right? But I don't think you will ever say it, right? It can be, it can be an advice, right? One should not get lost in Einzelheiten. So you can imagine saying that. So please say that. One should not get lost in details.
Man, man soll nicht,
Man soll sich
sollt, right? Man soll nicht.
sollte, then if you want to go connected zu, then man sollte. Immediately after the conjugated verb, you will have the reflexive pronoun.
Okay. Man sollte sich, äh,
Sollte.
ja, sollte
Yeah.
sich nicht
It's there. Why are you
in,
thinking?
in
Yeah.
langem Vertrag.
No, no, no. Why are you saying something else, right? You can just say what is there in front of your eyes. In Einzelheiten verlieren. Is there confusion, Rishi?
No, no, no. I had not read the 10th one. I was stuck at ninth one only.
Okay.
Okay, what is that? Einzelheiten. Okay,
Yeah, details.
Einzelheiten.
Not exactly
Details.
details. Einzelheiten means like, every single thing. Okay. Next one, please.
Verlaufen,
Sich Akkusativ verlaufen. Say it like this, please.
verlaufen sich,
No, not verlaufen. Sich Akkusativ verlaufen.
Akkusative, verlaufen.
Yes. What do you think it means? Laufen, you know.
Yeah, to
right?
run.
And fair, you can think, fair is always something negative or it is not something nice. So what do you think it means?
To run from something important.
Not exactly. Whenever you go for hiking, it's not a good idea to go alone, especially when your phone cannot, your phone's battery dies after a few hours. Because when you go alone hiking and your phone's battery dies after, let's say 6 or 7, let's say 5 hours, and you are trekking somewhere in Germany, what will happen?
I will be lost
Yeah,
for bad.
right. You are lost, or you have lost your way. So, ich habe mich verlaufen. I have lost my way. What do you think next one will mean?
Verfahren.
The same thing, but on wheels. You are traveling alone somewhere, and you don't know exactly where you are, but right now you are in a car. Again, continue, please.
Okay. Ich habe mich ich habe mich
The good thing about these two is that
verfahren
participles Y is the
oder
same. Yeah, participles Y is the same as the actual verb. Yeah.
what will be the main verb format?
Main verb is also
Verfahren.
ich habe mich verfahren. Yeah. So ich habe mich verfahren
Verfahren.
is like I have lost my way. Ich verfahre mich. I mean, you never like say that I'm losing my way. You always realize it once it has happened, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying is that I cannot imagine where you will have to say this in present tense. It's almost always in past tense. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Continue, please.
Wir haben Versprechen.
Don't forget to use reflexive pronoun, please.
Wir haben uns Versprechen.
Versprechen participes Y is versprochen. But what do you
But
think it means?
to get lost in talks
No, not
while
exactly.
talking.
No, no, no. Good guess, but it means to misspeak.
Okay.
You are talking to someone and by chance you say something stupid or something that you were not supposed to say. Oh, Entschuldigung, ich habe mich versprochen. You misspoke something. You wanted to say 10 kilograms, you said 10 grams. Okay. You wanted to say,
Mhm.
I work for 8 hours a week, you say, I work for 8 hours a month. Now you have misspoke, right? 8 hours a month is not exactly what your employer is looking
Yeah.
for. Yeah. So next one, please.
So in the 12th, when we had Ich habe mich, then we said Verfahren exactly as it is.
Yeah, because
But
participles
in
y is the
13th,
same as it is. So because verfahren's participles y is also, uh, is also verfahren.
oh,
Is it
okay,
clear what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, Verspäten, to be late,
Yeah, no, ich verspäte mich. This you can think of saying in present tense, right? For example,
to
now you
get
can
lost.
combine, 14 and 88. Ich verspäte mich, deswegen beeile ich mich,
Ich,
right?
werde-
I'm getting late.
ich verspäte mich, äh, deswegen ich beeile.
No, when you use
Ich,
deswegen, come on, you
ich
forgot.
mich, ich mich beeile.
No, when you use deswegen, darum, daher, immediately after deswegen, you will have the conjugated verb. So deswegen beeile ich mich.
Deswegen beeile ich mich.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or ich muss mich beeilen. You're in a meeting. I always hear this, or I always know someone. I'm in a meeting and someone book the meeting for half an hour, but the meeting keeps going on. Like after half an hour, after 5 minutes, I will say, "Hey, du, ich muss mich beeilen. Ich habe ein anderes Meeting." Okay, continue, please.
Okay. Ausruhen.
Don't say
Aus,
ausruhen. Say sich accusative ausruhen, please.
sich Akkusativ ausruhen.
The reason I'm saying is that this is how you learn a verb, right? Normal verbs, you learn just the verb. Reflexive you learn it like this. Sich accusative ausruhen. Sich dative etwas
Sich
accusative umziehen. Yeah? You learn them like this.
ausruhen.
What do you think? Just guess.
Yeah, yeah. To be quiet, and ausruhen should mean to shut up.
Not shut up to calm oneself. Okay, because shut up will mean something else, right? Ich werde mich ausruhen. I will calm myself, or man sollte sich ausruhen. Okay. Some
Mhm.
people when they, yeah, continue, please.
Ich ruhe mich mit
Don't
mit.
try to complicate. First, say it as simple as can. Then you
Okay,
can complicate it.
okay. Ich ruhe mich aus.
Yeah, and if you want to complicate, give a condition. Ich ruhe mich aus, when blah blah. Okay, but let's for now don't complicate. Just say as simple as you can. Next one, please.
Äh, Ich ruhe mich mit Yoga aus.
Uh, it's when you use reflexive verb, right? Don't use any preposition which you don't already see. So I have given you prepositions over here. That means you can use them. If I have not given you, that means if you want to use prepositions, write them in a new sentence. Ich ruhe
Okay.
mich aus, wenn ich Yoga mache. Okay.
Wenn ich Yoga mache. Okay. Ja,
Yeah.
danke.
Continue, please.
Entspannen.
So
Ich
one general advice. Again, you don't have to take it, but if you, I think it will help you. German language, it's all I say it's a simple language. I understand it's not that simple, right? But people make it complicated when they try, they learn something simple and they want to say something complicated. No, just learn say what you can say, So just say ich ruhe mich aus. And if you want to add more information, say another sentence. You can say mit and blah, but you do this after you have achieved B2 or C1 level, because then you know where you can make these changes. Continue.
okay. Ich entspanne mich.
Yeah, continue, please. And you can say ich entspanne mich, wenn ich blah blah mache.
Wenn ich bla bla mache. Okay.
Yeah.
Sich Dativ, etwas Akkusativ ansehen.
Let's see if she wants to read. I don't know if she's there. I think.
Yeah, I'm
Yes,
here.
is there.
Yeah, go ahead if you want to read. Yeah.
Sich Dativ etwas Akkusativ ansehen.
Yes.
Ansehen. Maybe
If
sehen
you
is to
guess, it will be
see.
right.
Anmachen. So
No,
I
not
wanted to see.
Marken. If you go by the Zehen, the meaning of Zehen, I think you will be more or less right.
Yeah, sehen is to see.
Yes. Ansehen
Okay.
means almost the same.
Oh, okay. Ich sehe mir. mm,
You can say at first complete the sentence. Ich sehe mir blah blah an, and then you can think what blah blah can be.
Ich sehe mir bla bla an.
Now it may mean,
And
what do you think it means? Now it is something like reflexive verb where
is it like I wanted to see myself as.
not exactly. When you don't, because you are using reflexive pronoun will be dative, right? So it's something like I will have a look,
Okay,
to
ich
look
sehe
something over, to have a look, to watch something.
ja, Document.
Yeah, ich sehe mir das Dokument an. Yeah.
Ja. Ich sehe mir das Dokument an.
Yes.
Sich Akkusativ langweilen. Langweilen, is it like boring?
Yes. But here is ich langweile mich, I'm getting bored. But langweilen
Uh,
on its own can be also a verb, right? So if I say du langweilst mich, you bore me,
yeah.
or langweile mich nicht, don't bore me. Yeah, continue.
Okay. Sich Dativ etwas Akkusativ einbilden. I don't know. I'll give it a try. Bilden is to photograph or frame.
No, that is build and builder. That is, so never confuse between verbs and nouns. Okay, more or less. So you say builder, right? Builder is a noun. So that is build.
Oh,
Thus,
yeah.
build is singular. The builder. It's not even builden. It is something. So, builden on its own will mean to build something.
Yeah.
Okay, but einbilden means something completely different. I mean, It's kind of like an idiom, so it means, to flatter oneself about something. you
Oh,
know
okay.
for example, let's say if I think I have a really nice accent, I will say, yeah, and if you really don't like that, you may, behind my back, you may say to Rishi, yeah, der bildet sich seinen Akzent an.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think you will ever say it, depending on, when
Mhm.
you are making fun of yourself, kind of like self-deprecatory, if you want to humor someone. Okay, but I use it. I don't think you need it. Continue, please.
Sich Akkusativ für etwas Akkusativ entschuldigen. Entschuldigen is to excuse me.
Yes, right. So it's obvious.
So, ich entschuldige mich für mistake, a failure, für das Fehler.
Yeah, but where will you imagine? Do you imagine saying this? Failure is their failure, so it will be their failure, few their failure.
Okay.
But where I can
Den
imagine
Fehler.
saying this, right? Quite often, if happens, someone sends us an email and we're like, okay, we'll reply after 5 minutes, and we forget to reply for 1 week. And then normally, when you write them an email, you say, "I'm sorry for delayed response," right? So
Yeah,
how do
yeah.
you say, "I'm sorry, I excuse my, I excuse, please," So I know, hope you know what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
almost the same. Ich entschuldige mich für blah blah, but now blah blah is a response, a delayed response, or the delayed response, or the delayed answer.
Bet antworte. Beantworte is.
Now, here you should not make mistake, right? It's obvious. Die Frage in Antwort is die Antwort.
Yeah.
So ich entschuldige mich für die Antwort. Now you have to say delayed. How do you say delayed as an adjective?
Bet. No. Zu spät. No, it is too late. What?
Adjective. Okay, Rishi,
Mm,
do you know?
Adjective is zu spät.
Zu spät is not an adjective. Okay, yes, but here you have like, zu spät are two words. Now I need one word which is like
Uh,
delayed.
I have read zu spät combined. That's why I said.
Zu spät combined. Like heard, yes,
Ich
but
bin,
like on paper it is not written together, right?
ich bin zu spät.
Yeah, you are too late. So
Uh,
ich bin
I'm
spät,
late.
I'm late, ich bin zu
I'm
spät.
already late.
Yeah, so the adjective is verspätet, you know.
Verspätet.
So if it
Yeah.
is
okay,
verspätet,
verspätet.
what is the adjective ending in this scenario?
Verspäten.
Why will it be? So first of all, it will not be verspätet.
Verspäter.
Then,
So
Verspäter.
now guys, think. Okay, I apologize for my tone.
No, no,
So
no.
yeah, not a
That's good.
problem.
okay, so ish. Yeah, thank you
Um,
for understanding. Ish.
Entschuldige
Entschuldige mich für die.
für die.
This is the adjective. Right now, you have to add something over here as an adjective ending. What do you think the adjective ending is?
Antwort.
Die Antwort.
Adjective ending.
Verspätete.
Für
Why tata? Why? So you're saying adjective ending is by a? Sorry.
Die Antwort. So,
So if you want to be really clear,
accusative
we'll say,
feminine
yeah. So as long as it is feminine and it
singular.
is not plural, so you should think like this: plural dative genitive n, and then you should think, okay, if not this, then feminine always a. Okay, so it is feminine.
yeah.
So okay. You will need this, guys. I mean, I use it a lot. Don't ask me
Yeah,
why,
yeah.
so you can
Yeah,
also
yeah,
use
yeah.
this.
Plural, genitive, dative.
Entschuldige mich für die verspätete Antwort. Or verspätete Rückmeldung. Rückmeldung is like to get back to someone. Rückmeldung.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
Mm, This dative, etwas, accusative, Bration. Sorry, I don't know what Bration is.
To
Let's say
break.
we all are sitting in a park and we see there is a kid and it has just rained and he is just running on a floor which is like, kind of wet, and it is, how do you, let's say, there are tiles on the floor.
He may slip.
Yes, and if he slips, what will happen?
Uh, Injury. He get injured.
Bones will break, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
break yourself bones.
But there is, I mean, so you can, etwas accusative can be anything,
Yeah.
du brichst dia, whatever it can be, cough, bone,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Again, this is an
While
you can also use it, somewhere, for example. Okay, I hope you get the idea. I don't think you will ever need this, but just so you know, if someone else says this, yeah. I have heard this
Yeah.
in gym. Some people say, "Don't do it like this, otherwise you will break this part or that part." Continue, please.
Okay. Ich Akkusativ verletzten, verletzten,
I think it's obvious, right? The same example, kid.
maybe is to injure
Yeah,
or
to
to get hurt.
injure. So you hurt oneself. Verletzen on
Yeah.
its own is also a verb. You will hear this in movies whenever a couple, whenever two people, two friends, or two people who really were close to each other, friends or somewhere else, and they have a fight, and after some time they meet. One person says, "You hurt me." Du hast mich verletzt.
Yeah.
Okay,
You have
continue.
me.
Now here it is not reflexive; it is just a normal verb. But here, so du hast mich verletzt is kind of like, you hurt me. So mich is not the object, direct object. But ich,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, continue.
If it was reflexive, to dich verletzt.
Yeah, then you will say, no, no, ich habe dich nicht, du hast dich verletzt. You hurt yourself, something like that.
Yeah.
Continue.
Okay. Sich Akkusativ an jemanden erinnern us to remember.
But
I'm mistaking it, I guess. Maybe it is
oh,
to remember.
you're on the correct path. Just think, an, like, then now after an, it is jemanden, it is a person.
Okay, reminding, maybe it reminds of me, or no,
Yeah, you
it
can think of
reminds.
it as, for example, you saw something and you was like, nine, okay, no, no, no. Here it has to be reflexive verb, right? So you are reminding yourself. But it actually
Yeah.
means, for example, your boss says, hey, do you remember that we discussed that we wanted to do this? And you're like, no, I cannot remember that, right? So ich kann mich daran nicht erinnern. I cannot remember
Oh,
about that.
okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, it can be a person or it can be an object. Continue,
So is
please.
it like ich erinnere mich an das Projekt?
Yeah, yeah. But normally, whenever, I mean, at least in my life, whenever I use this kind of, I mean, sich accusative an jemand erinnern, it is always associated with the modal verb. I'm saying like every, so they are used differently. Of course, technically you can write them without modal verb, but as I said, right, for example, merken, right? I always say ich merke mir das.
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm saying is that, just write a sentence which you think you can imagine saying.